Today I'm giving an informative speech about recycling. I'm sure that everyone has an idea about what recycling is, but according to Earth 911, recycling is taking the product at the end of its useful life and turning it into a usable raw material to make another product. Which this sounds very easy, but I don't think that a lot of people realize how many materials can be recycled. First, I'm going to give a few facts about recycling. Then I'm going to give some information about what we have been doing to recycle and what you can do to help in your community. The average American uses 7 trees per year in paper, wood, and other products made from trees. Americans throw out about 25 million plastic beverages containers every hour. Every month, Americans throw out enough glass bottles and jars to build a giant skyscraper. U.S. is the #1 trash-producing country in the world, which means that 5% of the world's population produces 40% of the world's waste. Recycling is nothing new. People have been recycling since the 1800s, but it's become a big issue in the past few years. People are using all our materials, and they don't realize it yet, but we will eventually run out. Americans use over 80 billion aluminum pop cans every year. There is no limit to the amount of times aluminum can be recycled, so why not do it, since when it's thrown away, it'll still be here 500 years from now. So when they say forever in a landfill, they're not far from the truth. Another thing is newspapers. For the purpose of this speech, I'm only going to talk about Sunday newspapers, but I want you all to keep in mind that newspapers are being released every day. To produce each week's Sunday paper, 500,000 trees must be cut down. Recycling a single run of the New York Times Sunday paper would save 75,000 trees. That is just one Sunday in New York. If all newspapers were recycled, we would save 250 million trees per year. That means that just 1/10 of newspapers were recycled, we would save 25 million trees per year. One of the easiest things to be recycled, but hardly ever is junk mail. I don't know about everyone, but well over half the mail that we receive in our house is junk. And considering that the amount of junk mail Americans receive in one day would produce enough energy to heat 250,000 homes, I don't think that I'm alone. Americans spend an average of 8 full months opening junk mail. Simply getting off these mailing lists would save a lot of time, a lot of paper, and it would save a lot of your life. Now, I don't want my speech to be all bad news. So I will say that every year, we save enough energy recycling steel to supply LA with nearly a decade's worth of electricity. In 1993, 36 million tons of paper was recovered in the US. That's twice as much as it was in 1980. And the US paper recovery saved more than 90 million cubic yards of landfill space. 27% of newspapers produced in the US are recycled each year. Recycling aluminum saves 95% of the energy used to produce the same product from scratch. Energy savings in 1993 were enough to light the city of Pittsburgh for 6 years. I recently noticed that on the side of Pepsi cans, Pepsi has written "Have we met before?" and urges people to recycle. I don't know about you, but I don't know anybody who is anti-recycling. However, I do know a lot of people that don't do it because they don't know how. You're hopefully thinking what you can do to help. Recycling seems simple, but where do you take the cans when you're done? Where do the newspapers go? Iowa has a 5-cent deposit on their cans and bottles that are carbonated. Very few states do this, but it does help. States with the deposit have 40% less litter by volume. Even if the person buying the product doesn't recycle it, somebody will. I used to work at Hy-Vee, and we had a can redemption center. Well over half of our customers were customers that walked around town picking up cans, and they knew this is what they did for a living. I'm not condoning littering in any way, I'm just giving an example. In Council Bluffs, we also have curbside recycling. This is very new to Council Bluffs, but I recently got a brochure in the mail stating that 1 ton of recycled material saves 122 gallons of gas. In July, which was the first month that Council Bluffs did this, Council Bluffs recycled 295 tons of material, which, if you do the math, that's 36,000 gallons of gas. This may not mean anything to a lot of you because you don't know how big Council Bluffs is. Well, Council Bluffs has a population of about 58,000 people. 1 ton equals about 2,240 pounds. Which means that one person, on average, in Council Bluffs recycled about 26 pounds of material that would have otherwise been wasted. 26 pounds is not a lot compared to what each person uses, but it's a start. I know that many people watching this speech are not from Council Bluffs or Iowa for that matter, but many grocery stores have recycling units in their parking lots, such as the one I have here in this picture. You can drop off cans, plastic bottles, metals, glass, paper, newspapers, and others have a lot more options. A lot of businesses have also started recycling. If you look around your schools and offices, many of them have bins for paper and bins for bottles. Every little bit helps. Even if you set up a bin in your office for your cubicle, people will see it, use it, or even start their own. I have started one at my work, and it fills up pretty fast. We empty it about once a week. Another thing is the money crisis in the economy. I'm not an expert, or I'm not here to talk about it. I just want to mention how recycling can help. One aluminum can will produce about a half a gallon of gas. Burning 10,000 tons of waste produces one job. Putting 10,000 tons in the landfill creates 6 jobs. Recycling 10,000 tons produces 36 jobs. This definitely isn't going to fix everything, but every little bit helps. Before my speech, I gave my audience some questionnaires to fill out about questions that I'd be answering during my speech. And let's see how they did. Read the question. What
States with the deposit on cans have blank less litter by volume. I put 50%.
And it was 40%.
1 ton of recycled material saves blank gallons of gas, and I put 100.
120.
If all newspapers were recycled, we'd save, I said, 10 million trees a year. It was 250 million?
Yes.
That's a lot. The average American spends, I said, 5% of their life opening junk mail.
8 months.
The energy saved in 1993 was enough to light up Pittsburgh. I put 30 years, you said 6 years. Americans throw away, I put 100,000 plastic bottles every hour. I forgot what it was.
It was
Was it 25 million?
25 million plastic bottles donated every hour.
1 aluminum can will produce 1 gallon of gas, is what I put. Recycling 10,000 tons of material creates 1,000 jobs?
36 jobs.
36.
Joe?
All right, then totally wrong. To produce each week's Sunday paper, 30,000 trees must be cut down.
500,000 trees.
And recycling a single run of the New York Times Sunday paper would save, and I put 500 trees.
It was 500,000?
I think it
70,
was
75,000.
75,000.
75,000.
My question was the amount of junk mail Americans receive in one day would produce enough energy to put 5,000 homes. The answer, I believe,
250,000 homes.
And the next one, I'm actually smart, I got right. Every year we save enough energy recycling steels to supply LA with nearly a decade's worth of electricity.
Yes.
My question was, cans can be recycled how many times? And I put 3, and the answer was
No limit.
no limit. Another one was, if an aluminum can be thrown away, it will still be here. How many years from now? I put 150, and it's 500.
It's 500 years.
Burning 10,000 tons of material produces, I put 7 jobs. One job. And in the first month of council lists curbside recycling, on average, each person recycled, I put 3 pounds of material.
It's 26 pounds.
In the first month of curbside recycling, council close recycled, I put 100,000 pounds, 295
pounds.
And putting 10,000 tons of material in landfill produces, I put 5 jobs.
It was 6.
The United States is 5% of the world's population. However, we produce, and I put 60 of the world's waste, and it was 80,
40.
or 40. Americans use over, and I put 82 aluminum pop cans every year, and it was 80.
80 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I see that everybody learned a lot from my speech, and if you want to learn more about recycling, you can find a lot of information online. You can simply go to any search engine and type in recycling. I found that typing in fun facts about recycling was the most useful for my speech. I hope that everybody leaves here thinking about recycling, because if we don't do something now, someday we'll be mining our landfills for materials that we've wasted and wondering why we didn't save ourselves the trouble.